Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brandy, your trusted realtor, and I'm coming to you with another great episode. Now, if you've been keeping track and keeping up with the series, you've been noticing a trend that I've been focusing on down payment assistance programs that are littered across the state of Maryland. Many people themselves are familiar with the Maryland Mortgage Program, and that program provides a full suite of programs, both loans and grants that are available to individuals that want to use those. But one of the things that you don't realize, or maybe a lot of not only lenders, but real estate agents don't realize, is that you can tack these programs together. And the programs that I've been speaking of, specifically the last program, which was the Pathways program, provides an option or an opportunity for you as a first-time home buyer to access up to $10,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance. Now, we're going to pivot a little bit to another program that's available to anyone who wants to buy a home in Prince George's County. And this particular program, the Prince George's County Down Payment Assistance Programs, offers up to $15,000. So if any of you guys are keeping track of the basic math at this point, that's upwards to potentially $25,000 of down payment and closing cost assistance that's available to you. So let's get into the Prince George's County Purchase Assistance Program, right? Not as pretty of a name as Pathways, but hey, doesn't matter as long as they're funding the down payment. With this particular program, the maximum amount of a loan that is available is $15,000. Now, keep in mind that I am saying a loan because that's exactly what this is. You get a $15,000 loan that has to be repaid back. It is not a forgivable loan by any stretch or form of the imagination. So that is a con of using this program, that even if you're in the properties for 25 years, you're going to have to at some point pay this back. But what I always tell people is that's further down the line, right? Think of it as if was a fifth, we'd all be having a good time. So at the moment, you can't get into the game if down payment and closing cost assistance is a problem. So focus on the immediate problem. I always tell my friends, my families, and my clients, you have to pick a struggle. And right now, your struggle is down payment and closing cost assistance. You know at some point in the future that you're going to have to pay this back, and you can prepare for that. Remember, your house is going to appreciate in value, and intrinsically, you should always be doing things to increase the value of the property, whether that's new concrete, a patio, or something that's going to enhance the aesthetic and the value. Now that I've gotten off that particular soapbox, let's get back to the program. In addition to that $15,000, there's an additional $5,000 that's available to people who work in a specific class. So if you are a police officer, a corrections officer, a sheriff, a classroom teacher, notice I didn't say a teacher, but a classroom teacher, a firefighter, or an emergency medical technician, or a nurse, you are in the running to receive that additional $5,000. So that ups the ante to $20,000. That's going to be available through this Prince George's program to allow you to get into a property. Now, let's go further into this program. It allows you to purchase a home in any part of Prince George's County. In any part of Prince George's County and have access to this particular program. In addition to that, it requires that you have to complete an 8-hour training program. This 8-hour training program has to be done by a HUD certified approved housing counselor. You can find that on my resource that I'll list below in the article that I wrote about this particular program. I'll include that, and in that article, I have a host of other links as it relates to this program that are going to help you, like income calculator and geographic region stuff that's going to be specific for you, like pre-approved title companies and lenders. So in addition to that, some other requirements of this program is that you have to have a participating lender and you have to have a participating title company. That is going to be a collaborated in a list that you can find on the Prince George's website, or you can go again to my site, and I'll link you directly to those resources. Now, your lender and your title company, in this case, especially the title company, can make and break the deal. So it's important that you're going to work with an agent who has experience with this information or with these programs and can navigate through them. So that way you're not in a situation where you're in a highly competitive market like we're in now. Whether you want to realize it or not, people are still buying houses in the wake of COVID-19 because they realize that renting is just disadvantageous for them at the moment, and they are hot in the market and they are buying up DC, Maryland, and Virginia in droves. So it's important, if you're going to participate in this program, that you put together a plan and have a realtor who understands the nuances of this program and has those partnerships and relationships both with lenders and a title company that can come together and make sure you have a seamless experience. Because at this point, we're not really dealing with your standard traditional transaction. We're dealing with a lot of different moving parts, and it's important to make sure that you manage and you have someone who's not just a realtor that looks good in a suit and some label, but also has the skill set to manage and navigate. Remember, real estate has to be their life, right? Now, let's talk about the income limits. The income limits for this is that it requires that you have to put down at least 1.75%. That's a minimum requirement for you as a buyer to use this program. So what does that mean? You're saying, oh my gosh, I have to have at least 1.75%. Calm down. Take a breath. So let's think about what that means practically. There are lots of different things that can be made that can make up that 1.75%. The earnest money deposit. Now remember from our previous videos, we talked about earnest money deposit as being about 1% of the 1% of the offer price, right? So if the offer price is $350,000, then your earnest money deposit is about 1% of that, and that's $3,500. You're gonna already have paid that in earnest money deposit. This fee is also gonna allow you to tack on things like home inspections and home insurance premiums. So again, back to the point I made originally above, make sure you have a real estate agent who understands this and can make sure that they can identify these things when it comes to your disclosure documents so that you're meeting these requirements and you're maximizing your dollar. Now, in addition to that, when it comes to income and funding, you have to actually look at your own personal money and pocket. Now, your household income has to be above 80% of the area median income, but it cannot exceed 120%. Another variable there is to consider the size of the household. So for a single person, your income has to be at a minimum $65,650, roughly in that range, to a maximum of about $98,450 for a single individual. Great opportunity for a single person to get into that loan, get into a home. Now, if you are a family of 4, so a mom, a dad, and a couple kids, then your minimum income is $93,750,000, all the way to a maximum income of $140,000 and $650. That's going to be amazing. And again, like I said before, I include income limit calculators both for HUD and income limit calculators for PG. Now, I'll tell you now, the income limit calculators for PG, what they have posted on their website, at least the PDF document, shows 2018. So I'm not 100% relied on those limits, so I tell you to go over to HUD. The second piece of that is also that having a lender who's participated and done this program before means that they'll be able to calculate those limits and determine whether or not you meet. As long as you're somewhere within that overall range, you're going to be in a safe place to ask a lender and your realtor, namely myself, to make sure that you qualify and you can get into this program. Now, the other piece of this is the application process. The application process for this is going to be done by the lender, so that's why you have to have a participating lender. The title information also has to be done by a pre-approved title company, and that's a list there. In the article that I've written is a full comprehensive suite of resources that are available for you to access as it relates to this program. So now we're basically at the end of the summary as it relates to this Prince George's County home buyer assistance program. And it's important, if you've been keeping track, like I said before, you're at at or above $25,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance that's available to you. So there's no need for you to ask or question. I've actually already had 3 individuals reach out to me in the last 15 to 20 days from just seeing these videos and inquiring about the process. We've actively got them underway, and by or before the end of the year, they'll be in a home. You can be in the same place and be in the same position. Continue to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that way you stay tuned in to the latest and greatest as it relates to real estate here abroad and in the DMV. I'm Brandon, your trusted realtor, and I look forward to being your resource to all of your real estate needs. Take care and talk to you soon.